Guess what I found out? I made a graphic about it yesterday. But everybody keeps saying, well, why did the AI centers need fresh water? I do get why salt, like ocean water, wouldn't be acceptable because of saline, but you're not going to be using what they need and returning it like that. No, no, no. So, but nobody really understood why. Nobody looked it up. I don't know. So, yes, was it yesterday? Yeah, the day before. Um, I I asked AI. I googled why do AI surveillance centers, because I'll get to that in a minute, um, need fresh, clean water instead of recycled water, like gray water. Because gray water, recycled stuff is not something that animals, wildlife, people can drink or cook with or bathe in. You know what I mean? Why can't you use something like that? Something that's partially, the reason? Because the inner workings, like the chips and things like that, they get corroded quicker. They don't get corroded near as easily with water that has no impurities, which is drinking and cooking, bathing water stuff, or supposedly no additives. So the reason they have to use water that is meant for people and wildlife and plants, things, so they don't have to clean the internal workings nearly as often, so it saves them money. The reason they need the clean water that we would be drinking normally to save their company money. They're already putting the cost of water up in a lot of those towns and cities. They're already yanking more than half of the electricity, and then the people are getting a rate hike because there's so much being used, and half of it isn't even for the citizens. There's a little bit of light shed on that. I haven't heard anybody tell us, why do they need the fresh water for? Nobody says anything about it. They never mentioned why. Because it makes them look bad. Because it's going to cost them more money. So they'd rather be putting human and animal lives at risk and peril than have to clean them more often and spend more money. Well, fuck off, AI surveillance centers.